This week's article is called Remember. The United States of America was founded by Christians. The Mayflower Compact was one of the earliest covenants. It was signed on November the 11th, 1620. Here is a part of the original. Quote, having undertaken for the glory of God and advancement of the Christian faith and honor of our king and country, a voyage to plant the first colony in the northern parts of Virginia. Now here's the rub. In some schools these days, this is how it is presented. Having undertaken a voyage to plant the first colony in the northern parts of Virginia. For the glory of God is gone. Advancement of the Christian faith is gone. I'm certain that it is not what is taught at all in many schools. Why have we removed words from such an important document? This is a very personal time in history for my mother's side of the family. John Bouton, later Boughton, was a Huguenot. Over hundreds of years, these Protestant Christians were killed or forced out of Paris. Then they were rejected from Normandy or killed, and finally out of England. Continuing westward, John landed in Boston in 1636, just 16 years after the Mayflower Puritans. He came for the same reason they had, religious freedom. This began a now nearly 400-year history for my family in this continent. My father's side of the family left religious persecution in the Netherlands in the 1840s and 1850s. Our first mother, Tertje Berkenpas, arrived in 1844, and our first father, Sjoerd Beekius, later Beacons, was on a tinware ship destined for the continent when it was shipwrecked in the Bahamas during a storm. Only 2 of the passengers were lost. He arrived July 1st, 1850. They were married in 1854. They thank God. God smiled on my forefathers, and he blessed the USA on countless other fronts. During the Revolutionary War in 1776, the Americans defeated the British, who had the largest army and most powerful navy in the world at that time. These were primarily farmers and shopkeepers who were lightly armed and untrained for battle. God provided. In the War of 1812, Americans won a decisive battle against the British for control of the Mississippi when an officer failed to deliver ladders to the weakest spot in the American defense. Another British officer failed to take charge of a small but strategic cannon emplacement. Again, God. When Hitler heard of the D-Day invasion, he thought it was a fake, despite its size, and did not deploy a large portion of his troops to respond for almost 2 weeks. The beachhead was established and retaking the European continent had begun. Again, God. When we consider all we have in security, prosperity, natural resources, and beauty in this great land, we must remember that it was God's hand on us all the way through. God blessed America. What we do about God will decide his further care for us.